Hello, hello, Guardians. I am Ransom Rider, and today I'm not out in the battlefield. I've got a different battle inside the kitchen. I'm having a little bit of black coffee. I brewed this earlier because today I have a really fantastic treat in store for you. Hang on. That is so good. That is so good. Black coffee. I've got a fantastic treat in store for you. I'm going to be making some scones. I want to just say hello to everyone over in England. England is my number 2 market, and today I'm making double chocolate scones to celebrate England being my number 2 market. Thank you, England. And by the time I'm finished with these scones, I'm going to be practically English myself. So 2 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour. So let's pop it into the bowl. Okay, now for my dry ingredients. This is a little bit of cinnamon, not about a half of a teaspoon. I didn't want a lot, but I want just a touch to enrich my flavors. In it goes. And look at that. I mean, flour all over me. I can't do a thing in the kitchen without making a mess. It's just part of it. It's part of it. This is a little bit of salt. And this will contrast beautifully with the richness of the chocolate. Let's pop that in. And later on, stay tuned because later on, I will be using salt again for these scones. Now, this is baking soda. Because I used all-purpose flour, the baking soda is actually going to allow my scones to rise. Refer to the recipe for the exact measurements on this, but this is 2 tablespoons. In it goes. Now, a little bit of extra right here. This is, it smells good. This is an espresso powder. This is powdered coffee. It's an espresso. Smells delicious. It's going to brighten the flavors of the chocolate. It's going to bring it all together to make this a decadent, delicious Guardian treat. Let's pop it in. And you know, Guardians, the thing that I search for, I want good Guardian snacks. I want gamer snacks. No matter what game you play, there's occasions when you need a coffee break, when you need to get out there and re-energize. You take 10, you take 15, and you want a good snack, a good gamer snack. Now here I have, this is a Dutch process chocolate powder, and the Dutch process is a little bit different from what I normally use. I usually go for like an American version of powder, the chocolate powders, cacao. Or as we say back home, cocoa powder. But this is the Dutch version. Let's pop it in. Man, oh man, that smells so good. I love desserts, and as you can see, they love me back. Now, this is sugar. This will again just enhance those flavors for my scones. And, refer to the recipe. You're going to get the exact total on this. 1/2 cup of granulated white sugar. All right, now we've got all that in. I'm going to take my whisk and whisk away. I want to mix these ingredients. I want to incorporate them, evenly distribute the ingredients. I don't want a clump or a lump of that Dutch chocolate, so I want to just bring it all together. All right, Guardians, preheat oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You want 200 degrees Celsius on your oven. Get it preheated. This is a good time to turn it on. Now, this is looking well mixed. This is just the beginning, Guardians. It's just the beginning. This recipe, it's a little bit more labor intensive, but this is Tower approved. This is NPC approved. They are unanimous on approving my delicious chocolate scone recipe. All right, I'm gonna grab my butter and a couple of other things. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, Guardians, I have pulled together. I had this butter. This is a chopped, unsalted butter. This is a grass-fed. These cows were grass-fed. This butter is extra rich and creamy. I love to read the package and make sure that you're getting like an 11 to 12%. You might even be able to find like a 13% butter fat. The better your butter, the better your end recipe. And that basically goes for any recipe that calls for butter. Better butter, better recipe results. So I have chopped this. It is just out of the freezer. Let this cool down for 10 or 15 minutes in the freezer. And we're going to pop that right in. I will be working this with my hand in just a moment. The best kitchen utensils ever, your hands. Now they're clean. I've washed these. I don't want a dirty scone. No dirty scones. So I've popped it in, and I'm just going to break it up a little bit with my hands. And if you don't want to use your hands, and I understand, that cocoa powder could ruin a good manicure. And I'm just going to cut my butter in. Come on, butter. But you want to be, you Guardians, be careful about leaving your butter in there too long. This can become a chore. So I want that in there. I don't want it melted. You don't want to use melted butter here, because these frozen little pieces of butter are actually going to heat up in your oven, and they're going to burst and leave a little air pocket and a ton of flavor. Fat is flavor. And you want that little burst to happen. Leave the air pocket. It's going to make your scone fluffy and delicious. All right, so I'm continuing to do this. Break it up. I want it to be a little bit finer than what I have. And you could use a food processor, because even though I let my butter stay in a little bit too long in the freezer, a food processor would have no problem just chopping this up immediately. I want to be smashing the hive, but right now I'm smashing butter. Gosh, the hands just absolutely are the best tool. Good tools in the kitchen, good tools in your gaming, aka weaponry, armor, and so many changes are coming up in Destiny. I'm excited about it. I feel like adventure awaits around every corner. That and our enemies, the enemies of mankind, they're out there waiting. I even feel like I could have used a little bit more butter. I'm all about a good buttery scone. Some jam, some jelly. I think you guys in England call it clotted cream. I think some cream cheese would be good on these. Looking good, feeling better, proper color shaders, good looking gear. It all comes together because the better you look, the better you do on the battlefield. But remember, you've got to be well fed. You don't want to go into battle hungry. Nobody wants to be hungry in battle. All right, Guardians, I've got my butter evenly distributed. I've got my egg. I'm practicing egg safety. I'm going to break it into this and then drop it in. I don't want any shells in my mixture. All right, the egg looks good. In it goes. This mixture, we want this to be shaggy, what's called a shaggy mixture. All right, and this is a full heavy cream. This is a heavy cream. Let's pop it in. All right, I'm not gonna go whole, I'm gonna reserve just a little bit, and I have a little bit here on the side in case that I need more or less of my mixture. All right, let's start folding this in. This is an important part because you don't want to over mix this, because it could give you a tough and chewy scone. Nobody wants a tough and chewy scone. If you go over to your family's house and they give you a tough and chewy scone, that's not good. Now, this is coming together beautifully. All right, let's try this. It looks good. I see little pieces of butter throughout. I'm gonna work this with my hands again. I'm gonna work it. Let's take it and just squeeze some. It's still a little bit too dry. Let's put this in. I might have to use my little bit of extra cream there. We're gonna find out. Let's continue to stir it because I need this to be able to actually come together, and I need to be able to turn it into a workable dough because we are gonna have to cut it and shape it in the traditional piece of pie scone shape. Oh, it smells so good. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't get my vanilla flavor in there. And I'm all about vanilla flavor. This is my home brew. I'm gonna pour a generous amount in there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of this. And I'm gonna utilize that in my mixture. A little bit extra. Let's see how it's coming out. It's sticking to my fingers for sure. Now I can tell that this has definitely reached a point where I can bring this together. It's just you and I here, Guardians. Let's flour my board because I want to dump this out, and then we're gonna mix it here on my board. And then we're gonna start bringing this together because I am going to need to get it all together and start cutting it to create some layers because I want a fluffy scone. That's what I want. Fluffy scones. I want it, I need it, I've gotta have it. I need a music video called Fluffy Scones. All right, I need a little flour on my hands because I'm getting sticky. It's getting hot in here. All right, I'm turning it over and it is sticking nicely. Get all those little extra bits in here. Break it. I'm gonna flip it over again. And I'm just gonna flatten it out, turn it into a little bit of a square. And then I'm gonna bring in my cutter. Let's cut this in half. Oh, that is beautiful. So I'm gonna work that down again. Smash, smash, smash. Let's cut it again. And if it's a little bit too wet, you can add some more flour. You can also flour your cutter here to keep it from sticking. Let's fold it over one more time. Evenly distribute my flour around. Now I could have put a few nuts in this too and given it a nice crunch. All right, I'm gonna do it one more time. One more time, come on now. I'm gonna cut it this way. I'm gonna pop it over. I'm gonna smash it. And then I want to get this into a round. I see the butter on top. Is my overhead looking good? Come on, overhead. Now, let's bring this down. And this is going to be, the final shape. The final, this will be the final shape. Because we're going to cut this. I want it just a little bit thinner because if it's too thick, it's going to take forever to get done in the oven. All right, how does it look? How does it look, Guardians? I feel like it looks pretty good. It smells good. Now let's go in. We're going to cut it. I'm going to try to be equal here. Let's give this a slice this way. Then let's slice this way. little pie shapes. That's basically what we're making here, little pie shapes. All right, that's done. I'm gonna bring over, coffee break. That was a lot of work. Now I'm gonna bring over, I have a seal mat in this, my well-loved cookie sheet. I'm gonna pop these in. I'm gonna give them room to grow. These might come out a little bit larger. And we're gonna do my final little touch on these. All right, how does that look? I'm feeling pretty good about it, Guardians. I want to come in with some of this cacao. This is like a 75% cacao, some little chocolate squares, pyramids if I turn them on their side. Let's pop a few of those in. All right, so that got them. I'm gonna wash my hands, and then Guardians, I'm gonna do a little extra, so hang on, I'll be right back. All right, Guardians, I am pulling out a real special treat. This is actually a flaked sea salt, and I just love this stuff. Let's just do a little bit of it on top. You know, if you've got guests coming over, if you have some fellow gamers, give them the wow factor. And that, because I used, you know, that high content cocoa powder, and the same for the chocolate squares, that's going to be a wonderful addition that's going to just brighten all the flavors and pull it together. These are going to go into the oven for 16 to 20 minutes, but keep a watch on these because oven times vary. 16 to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. These are double chocolate scones. Big O shout out to everybody over in England. I'm going to put them in, I'm going to bake them. I'll be back for a taste test. Guardians, I am back. These are fresh out of the oven. I've let these cool down for just a couple of minutes. They're still going to be warm. I want to take one. I feel like I want a small one, but these are all industrial size. I'm going to take one over, put it on a plate, and then I'm going to drizzle this with a little bit of chocolate sauce. Oh my goodness. I know this is a decadent treat. Let's try it. Get over that chocolate sauce. You did your duty. Now, take a look at this, Guardians. It looks absolutely fantastic. Will it do the taste test? Will it generate the numbers we need it to? This is a chocolate scone. Recipe will be below in my video if you want to make these at home. Gamer snacks are important. And a big O thank you to all the Guardians that followed me over in England. Thank you, Guardians. Let's dig in. Oh, look at this. It smells absolutely delicious. Now, I don't want to get too hot with this, but let's let it cool. Oh my God. Delicious. You know what goes good with a chocolate scone? Coffee. Now, Guardians, I've got many of these. I've got enough ingredients to make hundreds. Come on over, hang out. The journey inside of Destiny 2 is so much better when you do it with friends. Remember, Guardians, together we win this war. I am Ransom Rider. This has been my version of a chocolate scone. I hope you enjoy these at home. Give me a comment. Let me know if you make these, what you think about them. But most importantly, Come hang out in my live stream. Let's be friends. I will see you very soon in my next adventure inside the gaming world. Come on over. So good, Guardians. So good. Bye. These are mine. These are mine. Bye.